How about that?
I miss that. Miss Saturday mornings. Baseball bunch with Johnny Bench and the San Diego Chicken, then known as the San Diego Chicken. And then you would have Mel Allen and This Week in Baseball.
Sometimes during a rain delay during a Cubs game, which was
Yes.
good too.
I feel like how you guys talk about that is how my generation is going to talk about
Wiggles?
coming home. No, coming home from school and watching the Dan Le Batard show, then Around the Horn, then PTI, then Sports Center. Like in many years from now, we'll be sitting down and be like, oh my God, remember Tony Reale? Then he had Woody, and he had Plaschke, and he had, and then Courtney Cronin came in at the end. Mina Kimes was great, Bomani Jones, J.A. Donde, and then you had Kornheiser and Wilbon. I feel like how you guys talk about this, I'll be talking about that years to come now. I'm going to miss Around the Horn. Miss so much.
It's okay.
That was
PTI is my show.
Oh, it's everybody's
I like
show.
the curmudgeons.
That's it.
It was the original.
Same.
Well, it was the original debate show, and then
Yeah.
Cold Pizza came along, and Cold Pizza morphed into what we have now with people just screaming at each other. Good morning, everybody. Hour number 2, and thinking about our guys like Fremont Fred and everybody out in Fremont. I'm seeing pictures this morning of the extensive hail damage. Baseball-sized
wicked
hail in
dust storm.
Fremont last night.
Jeez.
A couple of pictures I've seen of homes. That's that was a storm. I think in most of this area we got very, very fortunate. All right,
Yeah.
Matt Verzal coming up a little bit later. So yesterday, if you missed the first hour, we were talking about kind of Matt Rule at a reflection point of, I don't want to make mistakes I made at Carolina, or just things that happen in Carolina that I don't want to happen here when it comes to relationships and doing the right thing. And so they're going to put the ball down. They're going to play a little bit. Nobody knows how long the live scrimmaging will go, but we will have live football elements. We also don't know what ticket sales are like. We know what the buzz or lack thereof has been in terms of marketing. I think everybody is waiting, don't know what's going to happen, kind of like yesterday.
Yeah.
Where even players did not know this was coming until right before Rule left the locker room.
Wow.
So it was a shock. But something you brought up, because you were kind of trying to lay out how you think this was, hey, we got to do something to increase interest.
There was some portion of it, yes, in my opinion, was about that.
So so from that standpoint, and what are the tickets? $10?
Yeah, $10.
Is what they are.
Yeah.
So if now they've added live football, do you think today they should add a surcharge onto the tickets?
No, because this was clearly, I think, to me, in terms of adding this to gain more interest, which I think definitely played a factor within the reasons that were given. This is more so, all right, we have to add something to get more people here, okay? Just period, end of story. What we're putting out on the field right now isn't as attractive as we want it to be. We need to add something to make it more attractive. I feel like if you were to add a surcharge, you kind of wash away.
So you think Dannon approached Rule not the way that it was laid out yesterday?
I think that Matt Rule made the decision he made for those 3 reasons he made it.
Okay.
But I also think that he had, in the back of his mind, he had to have known that, hey, the hype isn't there, the excitement isn't there. I think in the back of his mind, yeah, there were probably, in my opinion, there probably was a, hey, there's not a lot of people coming to this thing. We would like more people to come to this thing just for the attention, but also for the revenue. And then when I think he called Troy Dannon and said, hey, I want to put the football down and I want to go live and I want to add this a part of what we're going to do, Dannon said, absolutely, yes, jumped on it, because he knew that was going to add interest. That was going to add buzz, which it did. And I don't know.
I would listen to your point if it was still within the TV window. Again, there's no TV for this.
But I think it's more about getting the butts within the seats. And the TV, clearly, I mean, yesterday, he said it during the presser. He goes, well, we're not going to have cameras. We're not going to have Big Ten here. So clearly that was a big deterrent as to why they weren't playing football and why they didn't have the spring game to begin with. So the fact that they've been able to get past all that, the fact that there aren't going to be cameras there isn't going to be the attention that they've been trying to avoid, I think was like, okay, cool. Now we'll do it. Now we'll play live football, because the things that we're trying to avoid aren't going to happen. And on top of that, more people are going to come. We're going to put more money in our
So when
pocket.
you say more people, give me a number. What you think might be realistic of what was announced yesterday? Because what if they're only going to play 2 series.
I
mean,
think
we don't know what they're going to do.
Well, look, he cut a promo yesterday. I mean, he really laid it out, and the way he talked about it and the reasons he laid out, which I totally buy, definitely I think garnered interest and made people emotional, right? I think there would, if I had to guess, there would probably be about 25,000 people who are going to go to this thing. Okay.
Seems reasonable.
I think because there's going to be live football, I would say that number inches up to about 30 to 35. So I think the fact that they're playing live football, I think 5 to 10,000 more people are going to be interested in going to this thing and attending this thing and watching these guys play.
Man, if you're right, that I think people's opinion would change of Rule. That he was doing it for the marketing because that's what you're laying out, and I can't buy that because
I'm laying out that it was a part of the reason, that it was a part of it, and that was a consideration into it. I'm not saying, by no means am I saying that those 3 other things that he said, that we want kids to play their, final game at Memorial. We need to get down to 105. We need to see who can play. And we want to get tape for transfer portal dudes. I believe all of that. I think that when he made that decision, that was the crux of the decision. But when it was laid out to Dannon and when he was thinking about it, I definitely do think the added interest and getting more people to this event and getting more revenue and getting more money to the athletic department played a factor into it. Because I just don't see how it can't. That's my thing. I just don't see how you can make this big event. You can kind of go on a limb. You can be this national story about, hey, we're not playing this game for these reasons, and then have very limited interest in it. Okay. So I think that the fact that it just didn't seem like there was a lot of legs here, and then now they're adding the one thing that everybody wanted.
I don't think he makes decisions. If he's making decisions on that, man, that's a scary path to go down.
Why do you think it's a scary path to go down?
You're making decisions because, we got to have marketing and we got to put butts in seats. And
that's a lot of athletic departments make decisions based on getting more people to come.
He put himself out there, and then all of a sudden, hey, Matt, we're not selling tickets. Can you do something? Players didn't know about it until he walked out to the podium.
I think he got there on his own. I don't think he was given the code red. What Matt Rule wants to do, once again, for the most part, Matt Rule gets to do. I think he got to the decision on his own. But the approval of it, just going, hey, we're not playing live, we're not going to do live football, to then, we're adding this entirely different layer, which is it's not going to be easy, to put it all together with all the other things that they've had planned 1 week before. Like, that approval, the fact that, we're going to do it, in part, definitely, in my opinion, had to do with, we need to get more people here. We need to get more interest into it. And you adding, the whole.
That's a rough, if you're right, that's a rough look. But I don't think you're right.
I think they
we're going to disagree on this.
Fine. And I'm totally fine with disagreeing on it, because another thing too, and you bring up, if he's making decisions based on the marketing, based on getting people to come to the game,
which he's not,
which once again, want to make it very clear, the main part of why he did this was the main reasons he sit on that podium. But in this day and age, with rev share coming, and every athletic department is very cognizant of their financials. If you can add elements and add events that can make you more money, you should do it, and you should look to make more money as you possibly you should always look for money-making opportunities, because you're going to need those dollars. If you're looking at this event and you're like, what are we lacking? Well, we're lacking live football. Well, Matt wants to do live football now because, he wants these guys to play in the final game, and they've earned this and they've been able to do it. Great. We're going to do it because we need more money as well. I think that definitely played a role in that, in my opinion. Looking at everything else, because looking at how the event was, what the hype was, where we're at in college sports, the fact that you need money, and they just add this a week before, and now everybody's talking about it.
Now, if they needed, if what you say they need money,
everybody needs money,
which they don't, then you would have had the athletic director say no, because you got to understand, we make at least $1 million on a full spring game. And you would have already had that discussion.
Sure. But I also do think when your head coach comes up to you and says, hey, last spring game, this is how it was a detriment to us. We got injured with some of our top guys that we thought were going to play a lot, got hurt. Guys that played in that game that we thought we needed or we were going to use or we were going to develop, they got tampered with. Hey, if you lay out all those reasons, the athletic director will probably go, okay, we'll add another event and we'll take that loss because it's more important that we feed, we do what you're saying. So those things don't happen.
Do you think with a lot of schools, and Nebraska's not alone that make money off this, that the TV money that they get from the Big Ten now makes up for it? One of the big pushes before you got the big TV money was, hey, the spring game element. I mean, it's easier to say, okay, we know we're going to take a hit with tickets and what we're going to charge, but we've got this TV money. So we've got another source of revenue that makes up for the million or whatever schools might lose on a spring game.
Look, when you go back and you look at it retroactively, yes, the decision to not have the spring game wasn't based on financials. Okay, it was not. Okay. I'm just talking about this specific singular spur of the moment decision was made because of the reasons he made, but also it was approved because it's adding interest to this event that didn't have a ton of interest. It puts more money in the athletic department. And whether or not, does Matt Rhule, once again, I don't think a main reason as to why he did this is why he decided this was to get more butts and seats. But it definitely has to be, I think it has to be a point on the mind. And I think Troy Dannen said yes, because you want as many people to come to this as you possibly can. And the biggest detractor from this event is the fact that there wasn't live football. Now there is live football. But I'm not questioning the validity of the other reasons given, because I believe those other reasons given 100%. The way he said it and what he said before and the passion he has for players, I buy that. I'm just selling that this has nothing to do with adding more interest to the event and trying to get more revenue. I'm selling that. And that's fine. And I'm totally fine with that. I'm totally fine with them adding this element for them to get more money, because now more people want to go and more people want to enjoy it, and they're going to put more money in the athletic department's pocket. And whether or not they need the money, that's a good thing for the athletic department.